When we were kids, Olivia was born later than me, but she grew faster and taller. It drove me crazy. She always forced me to call her sis. I refused no matter what. She beat me up for it. So I decided to get revenge. I ate 8 bowls of rice every single day. I finally grew big enough to beat her back. But then she started screaming for backup. A whole group of big guys came glaring at me. I panicked and tried to explain myself. I was furious and mortified. No one believed me. To escape her, I made my move. I picked a university 20,000 miles away. I thought I was finally free from this demon girl, but she bribed my own mother. She enrolled in the same university as me. And the worst part? She showed up wanting to move in with me. There I was, sitting on my couch, cracking open a cold soda, enjoying my peaceful, quiet life. Life without Olivia Anderson was truly bliss. I let out a long, satisfied sigh. This was the life I deserved. Ding dong, ding dong. The doorbell rang twice. Who could that be? I lazily stretched out on the couch. Who is it? Ding dong, ding dong dong ding. Someone was hammering the doorbell like crazy. I shot up, furious. I stormed over and yanked the door open. The door swung wide open. Bang! I yelled, "You'd better have a good reason." But when I saw who it was, my voice died out. Standing there was a tall, slender girl, my face filled with pure shock. My words trailed off completely. She had bright, sparkling eyes like a clear night sky. Her features were sharp and refined. A perfect nose, lips curved in a confident smirk. She looked infuriatingly beautiful. Her big eyes were bright and clear as stars, like a deep and glittering galaxy. That high nose bridge and slightly curved smile, it made people forget how to breathe. But right now, she was glaring at me with clenched teeth. I let out a startled yelp. The Demon Queen! Wait! Olivia Anderson, what are you doing here? Olivia crossed her arms and snapped back. Ha! You pig-headed idiot! You just up and moved without telling me? Why didn't you say anything? I had to go ask your mom. Auntie, I never would have found you otherwise. I looked at her confused. Why are you even looking for me? Olivia stumbled over her words. Well, obviously. She suddenly puffed up with righteous energy. Someone has to check that without me around. You haven't picked up any terrible habits. I dug a finger in my ear. I looked at her with pure disdain. Just say it plainly. Olivia growled through gritted teeth. I'm moving in here. My face lit up with one giant question mark. I slowly looked down. She was gripping a massive suitcase with both hands. You want to move in here? Yes. Ha 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 ha. I felt like I'd just heard the joke of the century. I burst out laughing. Olivia bit her lip and glared at me. What's so funny? Did you lose your mind? I stopped laughing. I stared straight at her. No way. I sprinted back into my room. I slammed the door behind me, leaving Olivia standing alone outside. It took her a second to process what just happened. Then she charged straight at my door. She pounded on it with her fist. Ethan, get out here right now. Olivia kept screaming from the other side. I thought back to all the years of living in Olivia's terror. The moment she asked to move in, my answer was instant. Absolutely not. No chance. There is no way I'm letting you in. That's what I thought to myself. I worked so hard to get into this university. I moved all the way out here, specifically to get away from you. If I let you in now, everything I worked for would be wasted. With that thought in mind, my resolve grew even stronger. Ding dong, ding dong dong. Olivia kept slamming the bell and hammering the door. I buried myself in the couch cushions, pressed a pillow over both my ears. Then suddenly everything went quiet. Just when I thought Olivia had finally given up, she unleashed her most dangerous weapon. Somebody help me. This heartless man. I'm carrying his baby, and he won't even let me through the door. She wailed as dramatically as humanly possible. I was renting a 2-bedroom in an old apartment building. Neighbors were packed in on every side, mostly older folks, very nosy ones. If anyone heard what she just said, by tomorrow morning, I'd be the building's most infamous resident. I shot off the couch and yanked the door open. I grabbed Olivia and dragged her inside. I confronted her, furious. "What is wrong with you?" Olivia looked me dead in the eye. "I'm living here." Final answer. I refused, flat out. Olivia broke into a sly grin. Then she threw her head back and screamed, "Somebody!" She didn't finish the sentence. I lunged forward and clapped my hand over her mouth. I hissed through clenched teeth, "Keep quiet." Olivia tried to speak against my palm. Only muffled sounds came out. Her breath tickled my hand. It made my palm itch like crazy. I whispered a firm warning in her face. "I'm letting go. Don't you dare make a single sound." Olivia nodded and agreed. I released her. I slowly pulled my hand back. She immediately opened her mouth wide again. She was about to scream. I rushed back forward, trying to cover her mouth again. But Olivia was quicker this time. She dodged sideways with a tilt of her head. She smirked at me triumphantly. "So? Ethan? Am I moving in or not?" I snapped back at her angrily. "Don't think this little act will make me give in. Tell me what you're really after." Olivia said it plainly and seriously. "I want to live here." I didn't dare just say no outright this time. I was scared of what crazy stunt she'd pull next, so I tried a different angle. "Fine. Tell me why you want to live here. And give me one good reason why I should allow it." Olivia's big eyes darted around thinking, "I need to supervise you. Keep you from developing any bad habits. Speak normally. Your mom asked me to take care of you." "You. Stop lying. Come on. I'm just like you, okay?" I also got into Highborn University. School doesn't start for another month. I didn't feel like staying home, so I came here. Simple. "What? You got into Highborn University too? Weren't you supposed to apply to Kingsbury?" "Sure, Highborn and Kingsbury are both top schools, but I chose Highborn because I thought she went to Kingsbury. That's the only reason I picked it. Both our scores were excellent. With my grades, I could have gotten into any school I wanted. So Olivia came to Highborn specifically because of me." "Did you choose Highborn because of me?" I asked directly. Ha, no, of course not. I just thought the scenery here was nice. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing at all." Ha. Olivia forced out an awkward laugh to hide her panic. I gave her a firm smack on the top of her head. Olivia yelped and grabbed her head dramatically. Then a question hit me. "Wait a minute. I kept my university choice completely secret. And you were on a family vacation when I applied? How did you find out?" Olivia huffed. "Thanks a lot. You deliberately hid it from me. Good thing I have your mom's number. I called you and couldn't get through. So I asked Auntie, and she told me everything. Traitor." I mentally facepalmed. My own mother did this." Olivia clapped a hand over her mouth. Trying not to laugh out loud, I shot her a warning glare, a silent threat. Then my phone rang. I answered it. "Mom, what's up?" "Ethan, sweetie, Olivia should be there by now, right? She said she wanted to get used to the city before school starts. I figured with her there, you two could look out for each other. So I gave her your address." She rushed right over. "Oh, Auntie, I'm already here. Don't worry about a thing." Olivia snatched my phone and took over the call. "Yes, thank you, Auntie. I just arrived." Olivia chatted politely with my mother. Then she handed the phone back. "Hello? Now, Ethan, even though you're living together, absolutely no funny business, you understand? That kind of thing waits until you graduate and get married." My mother said this completely deadpan on the phone. I jumped in to object immediately. "Mom, what are you even saying?" I hung up the call. My own mother had betrayed me. Olivia stood nearby, grinning like a fox. "See, I told you. Your mom asked me to look after you." Without another word, she kicked off her shoes. She grabbed a pair of slippers from my shoe rack. She slipped them on and wheeled her suitcase right in. I yelled after her, "Hey, those are my slippers! La la la! Not anymore! They're mine now!" She turned and stuck her tongue out at me. "Hey, are you drinking that stuff again? It's terrible for guys, you know." Olivia pointed at the can of soda on my coffee table. I was losing patience fast. "Look, do you want to stay here or not? If you do, then stop nagging me constantly." Olivia snapped right back. "Which room is mine?" I had already given up. I pointed toward the room at the end of the hall. Olivia dragged her suitcase right on in. I collapsed back onto the couch, my chest heavy with dread. Oh God. I finally escaped from this girl, and now we're going to be living together? Ethan, come help me with this. Olivia's voice drifted out from the bedroom. Ugh. I dragged myself off the couch. I shuffled toward her room like a zombie. I poked my head in, defeated. What do you need, Your Highness? Help me hang these clothes in the closet, please. There's so many. They're so heavy. Hang on. Why on earth did you pack so many clothes? The whole suitcase is full of clothes. Not just clothes. There's also towels, toothpaste, toothbrush, and shower gel. I stared in disbelief. I genuinely could not understand how women packed this much, and still squeezed in everything else. I had to ask, are you planning to live here permanently? Olivia answered without missing a beat. Obviously. Problem? I refused immediately. You can stay until school starts. That's it. After that, go live in the dorms. Olivia tilted her head curiously. But what about you? I'll be staying here permanently. Staying a few extra days won't kill you. Olivia muttered just under her breath. I squinted. What was that? What did you say? Olivia waved me off. Ugh, nothing. Forget it. I'll leave when school starts. Happy? The doorbell rang again. Who is it now? I went to open it with a sigh. I pulled the door open. Delivery. I never ordered anything. And it's enormous. I stared at the enormous cardboard box in front of me. Wait, whose is this? That's mine! That's mine! Olivia came flying out. She signed for the package herself. She looked at the box, then looked at me. Then she looked at me again, and tilted her head. All right, let's go. Ethan, be a dear and bring this inside. I crossed my arms immediately. What do I get for it? $5? Did you think $5 could buy my services? Fine. 10. Now move, servant. $10? Done. That's 10 whole dollars. For moving one box, where else would money fall from the sky like that? Let me think. There's rent and utilities I still have to cover. And electricity bills. Every cent counts right now. That was the whole deal for me living on my own. I slowly dragged the heavy box into Olivia's room. Olivia tore into the package. Inside were bedding and linens, plus a bunch of small odds and ends. Then my eye caught something familiar. A little carved wooden dog head I made as a kid. I'd given it to Olivia way back then. She actually still had it. I couldn't help but ask, "You still kept that little dog carving?" Olivia gave me a sideways look and sniffed. Unlike some people, I don't throw away what matters. Who exactly are you calling fickle? Whoever felt called out. I didn't feel called out. Then why are you getting defensive? How would you even know it was me? I'm not fickle, and that's that. The two of us bickered all through setting up her room. Not bad, not bad. Olivia surveyed the room with satisfaction, nodding with approval at the layout. Looks good. The room came together nicely after all. Not too shabby. Okay, now I'm hungry. Me too. Let's go eat. We ended up going out to grab some food nearby. The place had our usual comfort food. Hot, steamy, and delicious. We sat down across from each other. Both of us dug in immediately. This is so good. Olivia spoke between bites. Better than yours for sure. I paused mid-chew. What's that supposed to mean? You can't cook well. I cook great. Name one dish. Instant noodles. That doesn't count. Cooking is cooking. You're hopeless. I'm practical. There's a difference. She rolled her eyes but kept eating. At least you're not useless in other ways. Was that actually a compliment? Don't get used to it. We kept arguing in between bites. It felt exactly like every meal we'd ever had. Familiar, warm, annoying. The way childhood always feels. In a corner of my mind, I thought, at least she's still the same idiot. And I'm still the same idiot too. After eating, we headed home, back at the apartment. I set down my bag and flopped on the couch. I thought about our old neighborhood again. Back when we were kids, it was always like this. Olivia was always dragging me into trouble, and I was always right behind her, getting dragged along. I didn't know what to do with her, still don't, same as always, but I guess that's just how it is. I shook the thought away. The next morning came fast. I woke up to the smell of something burning. I stumbled out of bed in a panic. My heart was pounding as I ran to the kitchen. Olivia was standing in front of the stove, looking deeply confused. "What happened in here?" "I was making breakfast," Olivia said defensively. I stared at the slightly charred eggs in the pan. "These are definitely past saving." Olivia huffed. "It's fine. It's just a little dark." "A little? You call this a little dark? Move over, let me cook. Fine, Mr. Instant Noodles, I can cook real food, okay?" I got to work while she hovered behind me. She kept offering unsolicited advice. "Add more salt." "No. Less. Now more oil." "Can you let me cook in peace? I'm just trying to help. You're helping me get a headache." She backed off and sat at the table, pouting. 5 minutes later, breakfast was ready. 2 plates, steaming hot. Olivia poked at hers suspiciously. Then she took one cautious bite. Her eyes went wide. "This is actually good?" "Obviously. I told you I could cook." She was quiet for a moment and kept eating. I watched her from across the table. She was still wearing her pajamas, hair a mess, still somehow looking completely at ease. Like she had always been here. I found that thought unsettling. I looked away and went back to eating. We had our own rhythms. Even our arguments had a rhythm. Push and pull. Back and forth. Like we'd been doing it our whole lives. Because we had. I still couldn't believe this was my life now. Sharing a home with Olivia Anderson. The one person I ran halfway across the country to avoid. She looked up and caught me staring. "What are you looking at?" "Nothing. Eat your food. Don't tell me what to do. I'm telling you to eat." "Same thing." She kept eating with an annoyed huff. "So what's your major gonna be? Also business?" "Obviously." "Why do you always copy me?" "Since we were kids, you always do the same things. I like business administration, okay?" I had nothing else to say. "My Highness is done. You may have the rest. I'm bestowing it upon you." She rubbed her slightly full belly and pushed the plate over. "Not hungry." I refused. Just like that. Olivia narrowed her eyes. "How dare you reject my gracious offering? You want trouble? I'm not eating it. You can't make me." I made a face at her and laughed, grinning wide. "Eat it or don't. Last chance." Olivia broke into a grin of her own. Then don't blame me. I'll go into your room later and make a mess." I clenched my jaw. "Olivia, is that a threat?" Olivia nodded very seriously. "Yes, it is." "So are you going to eat it?" Fine, I'll eat it." "Happy now?" I gave in. Since middle school, I'd hated Olivia coming into my room. Teenage boys keep certain things private. Things you don't want anyone to find. Every time Olivia got in there, she had some kind of supernatural sixth sense. No matter where I hid things, she always found them, and then reported them to my parents. I got in so much trouble back then, so I stopped letting her anywhere near my room. Olivia covered her mouth, laughing softly. "Heh heh heh heh. That's more like it." I grabbed the extra portion and ate it in 3 bites. Olivia rested her chin on her hand. She just watched me, eating the food she'd just given away. A small smile played at the corner of her mouth. After breakfast, we came home. I sprawled across the couch. That's when her earlier threat popped back in my head. The alarm bells went off in my brain. We were actually living together now, which meant all kinds of awkward things could come up. Even if we were childhood friends, guys and girls are still different. Rules were needed. I had to set some ground rules, otherwise she'd sneak into my room and cause chaos. Olivia looked confused. "First household meeting?" I corrected her sternly. "No, my first household meeting. What's the difference? This is my home, not yours. So what do you have to say?" Olivia chewed on her water bottle cap, watching me. "All right, listen up. My first household meeting is now in session. The agenda for today is as follows. Rules for Olivia Anderson living under my roof. The terms she must agree to. Rule 1. No making noise when someone else is sleeping. Rule 2. You pay half of rent and utilities for however long you stay. Rule 3. We alternate doing household chores every 2 days. Rule 4. Keep your personal clothes tidy. No leaving them all over the place. When did I ever do that? Olivia protested. Every time I visited your room back home, your stuff was flying around everywhere. Olivia had nothing to say to that. Rule 5. No walking into the other person's room without permission. Hold on. I should be allowed to go into your room whenever I want. It should say, Olivia can freely enter Ethan's room. But Ethan may not enter Olivia's room without permission. Olivia stated this as total fact. I gritted my teeth. Since when do you have that right? Olivia answered with complete seriousness, the right of a childhood best friend. I gave her a firm chop on the top of her head. Noted. Noted. I'll think of more rules later. Olivia crossed her arms stubbornly. This is completely unfair. Oh? I smiled calmly. It's my home. Don't like it? I'll throw you out. Simple. Olivia relented. I grabbed a sheet of paper and wrote the rules down. At the top I wrote, House Rules, in big red letters. I taped it onto the wall. Then I pressed a red inked thumbprint on the paper. My signature. An official seal. I turned and looked toward Olivia with a sly grin. Olivia's eyes went wide. No, 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 don't you dare. You're not putting that ink on my finger. Absolutely not. I nodded slowly. Yes, I am. Olivia flat out refused. I would rather die than agree to that. She watched me step closer. She grabbed a throw pillow and hurled it at my face. The pillow smacked me dead on and slid slowly down to the floor. I smiled. Slow, dangerous, useless. There's no escape. No, don't! Stop it! 2.5 minutes later, I looked at the paper. 2 red thumbprints, both of them. The house rules were now officially signed. Breach them and you do all the chores for a month. I was very satisfied with myself. Meanwhile, Olivia was in the bathroom, scrubbing furiously at the red ink on her thumb. She seethed through her teeth. That stupid Ethan. Look what you did to me. It won't come off. I called back from the couch, cheerful. No worries, it'll fade in a few days. Ha ha ha. I opened the fridge, decided to grab a soda, but there was only one left, and the vegetables were low. Time to go grocery shopping. We should stock up on food. I called out toward the bathroom. Olivia, I'm going to the market. You coming? Olivia called back. Yeah, hold on. I cracked open the soda, took a sip, and collapsed back on the couch with a sigh. So good. Cold soda on a summer afternoon. Perfect. Ah, you're drinking soda again? Olivia walked out of the bathroom and spotted me on the couch with the can. She put on her lecture face. I already told you. Carbonated drinks are terrible for men's health. I squinted lazily from the couch. Oh, come on. This is literally the last one. I'll stop after this. Olivia reached over and snatched the can straight out of my hand. Then she downed the entire rest of it in one go. Burp. And let out a truly spectacular belch. Ah, refreshing. Olivia looked satisfied. I nearly flipped the table. Hey, you wanted some. Buy your own. Why steal mine? I already drank from that can. Olivia raised her chin with high dignity. Consider yourself lucky that someone as gorgeous and lovable as me didn't mind sharing a can with someone like you. Pfft. Shameless. She really is shameless. But also honestly pretty, I thought to myself, quietly. Olivia then went back to her responsible tone. Seriously, cut down on the soda. You haven't heard? Too much of it and you might never have kids someday. I fired back. Where do you even get this nonsense from? And I barely drink that much. Demon Queen, pfft, pighead. Demon Queen, pighead. Demon Queen, pighead. We wore ourselves out. We slumped on opposite ends of the couch, both of us huffing for air. I was the first to speak. All right, we've rested enough. Let's go shopping, or we won't eat tonight. Fine, I'll be the bigger person and let it go. This one time. Let's go. Olivia stood up, still acting like royalty. I looked at her and shook my head slowly, completely beyond saving. Come on then, I said, already heading for the door. We walked to the grocery store near our building. Right when we were almost done shopping, a cheerful voice called out from behind us. I turned around. A girl with a warm and gentle look was walking toward us with a smile like sunshine. I smiled back in surprise. Sophie, what are you doing here? Sophie laughed and greeted me. Ha! I thought I recognized your back. Had to check, called your name just to see. And sure enough, it really was you. I came out shopping with my little sister. She gave the small hand she was holding a little shake and said gently to the child beside her, Lily, say hi to Big Brother. Hi. Hi there. A tiny hand reached out toward me to shake it. I looked down at a little girl, maybe 5 or 6 years old. She was being politely adorable, utterly sweet. I smiled warmly. Hello there, little one. I gently shook her tiny, outstretched hand. Such a good girl. I gave her head a gentle pat, said softly, Big Brother, that pretty lady keeps staring at you. Little Lily pointed behind me, puzzled. I turned around to look. Olivia was standing not far away, glaring at us hard. When she noticed me looking back at her, she snapped her gaze away, fast. Sophie also noticed Olivia. Oh, she's my friend. Sophie caught Olivia's eye at that moment and gave her the warmest, kindest smile. Olivia quickly looked away. Sophie turned back to me. Oh, right, tomorrow's our shift. Don't be late, okay? What shift? Olivia's voice came from just behind my shoulder. I explained. Sophie and I work part-time at the same bookstore. We happen to be on the same shift schedule. Today was our day off. Tomorrow we're back on. Olivia looked at me. Wait, you have a job? I nodded matter-of-factly. Yeah. My parents agreed to let me live alone on one condition. Tuition and food they'd cover, but rent and utilities are mine to handle. So yeah, I have to work. Sophie smiled at us both. All right, we're heading off then. See you tomorrow. I waved back. Sure thing. See you then, Sophie. Once Sophie walked away, Olivia immediately started mocking me. Oh, sure thing. See you then. Hey, that's called being polite. It's normal. Pfft. I don't buy it. What's got you in a mood all of a sudden? I don't know. Don't ask me. Before I could reply, she stormed ahead. I shook my head. I genuinely had no idea why she was suddenly upset. Hey, wait up! I hurried after her. Hey, what are you even upset about? I jogged after her. Just drop it, she snapped. I sighed quietly. Even if you storm off, we still have to go home together. All the grocery bags are with me. Olivia froze mid-step. She seemed to realize she had no real plan here. She was still annoyed, though. Couldn't put it down, Olivia declared dramatically. Fine, then I'll just go back alone. I started laughing. Go back? With what exactly? Everything's in my hands. Olivia was already annoyed, and now I was laughing at her. That was the last straw. She spun around to glare at me. Fine, then I won't go back, and that's final. Oh, double congratulations then. I laughed out loud. Olivia was furious. She shoved the cart aside. She left behind even her favorite chicken wings. She stormed off down the aisle. Wait, I called. I turned to catch the shopping cart. But in that 1 second of turning, when I looked back up, Olivia had vanished from sight. My chest suddenly tightened. I searched anxiously up and down every aisle. Then, from a quiet corner, I heard it. A soft sound, like crying. Behind one of the shelves, my chest squeezed tight. I set down the cart quickly and carefully followed the sound. There was Olivia. She was crouched alone, arms wrapped tightly around her knees, head bowed, shoulders shaking slightly. Something cracked open in my chest. It was a completely different feeling. Not annoyance, not exasperation. It was something else entirely. I slowly crouched down beside her. Hey, are you okay? Olivia looked up fast. Her eyes were red at the corners. She sniffled and looked away. I'm fine. Leave me alone. You were crying. I did not cry. Something in my eye. That's all. Both eyes at once. Shut up. A moment of silence stretched between us. I sat down beside her on the floor. Right there in the grocery store aisle, I asked quietly. Is it about Sophie? Olivia went rigid. Don't be stupid. I don't care about that. Then why are you upset? Olivia was quiet for a long moment. Then she said it softly. It's just, you smiled at her, like it was easy. You barely ever smile at me like that. I stared at her profile. Something settled in my chest. Quietly. Unexpectedly. I looked away. That's because you're always making me mad. Olivia glared. That's your fault for being so easy to annoy. I snorted quietly. Come on, let's go home. We still need to cook tonight. Olivia slowly stood up. She brushed off her knees. Didn't look at me. Then after a moment she said quietly, you still owe me my chicken wings. I let out a genuine laugh and went back to grab them from the cart. We checked out and headed back home together. Neither of us said much on the way, but it wasn't an uncomfortable silence, just quiet, comfortable somehow, like two people who'd known each other forever, which of course we had. Back home, I put the groceries away, organizing everything in the fridge and cabinets. Olivia took the snacks into her room. In her room, she sorted through the snack bags. One by one, she put them away. When she picked up the open lollipop bag, she suddenly stopped. A small, sweet feeling crossed her face. She placed the lollipops on her bedside table, the most visible spot in the room. Easy to reach, always visible. She muttered to herself proudly, "Since you bought me snacks, I'll forgive you, for now. Ethan, pighead, I'm going in your room to put your snacks away." She popped her head out and announced. I was busy in the kitchen, trying to fit everything perfectly, and didn't think twice about it. Fine, go ahead. Olivia grinned slyly. She quietly opened my bedroom door. She set the snacks in my nightstand. Then she looked at my bed. Clean, neat, made perfectly. She crept to the door, peeked out into the hall. I was still in the kitchen, not coming. She smiled a sneaky smile. Thud. She gently closed the door behind her, the soft click of the latch. Olivia's heart pounded like a drum. She froze in place for a moment. Then nothing. No sound from outside. She let out a quiet breath, and then she just let herself fall, sprawling back onto my bed. Familiar scent, familiar warmth. She whispered under her breath, "This smell, it's always the same." She buried her face in the pillow, taking in deep, quiet breaths, stretched out across the whole bed, eyes closed. She was exhausted, but happy. Something in her chest felt settled. Being close to this again feels really good, she thought quietly to herself. After a while, she sat back up, guilty conscience kicking in. She started carefully smoothing the covers, making sure everything looked untouched. Just as she fixed the last corner of the mattress, click. The door slowly opened. I stood in the doorway, staring straight into the room. Olivia was crouched by the bedside. Her face had gone pale. When she saw me, she froze completely, like a statue carved from ice. Then she recovered. Fast. She stepped in front of the bed corner, blocking it from view, cold sweat prickling her skin. She couldn't even lift her head to look at me, terrified of making eye contact. My brow creased with suspicion. Something flickered in my eyes. I asked, voice low, "What are you doing?" Olivia's heart jolted, but she forced herself calm. Her voice was just slightly shaky. Nothing. What could I be doing? Why would I be doing anything? I could tell right away she was hiding something. The whole thing was written on her face. I didn't say a word. I walked right past her toward the far side of the bed. My eyes landed on one crumpled corner. My frown deepened. I turned around, stared straight at her, studying every micro-expression on her face. Then it clicked. I said through my teeth, "Of course. Were you snooping around for something embarrassing again? Good luck. I don't keep that stuff anymore. Nothing to find. Disappointed? Ha!" I made a face at her and started laughing, enjoying this. Olivia's heart nearly collapsed in relief. He didn't figure it out. Thank goodness. She put on her most innocent face, relaxed immediately. She put on an official, dignified voice. "You're right. You're right. I was looking for exactly that. Didn't find a thing, sadly. Quite impressive of you, really. An improvement." I rolled my eyes in disbelief. I knew it. "You come in here, and nothing good happens." Olivia laughed nervously. "Ha ha! Of course not." A long, tired pause. "All right, fine. This time, part of it was my own fault. I let you in here without thinking, so I won't count this as a house rules violation. But let this be the last time. I rubbed my forehead, completely exasperated. Olivia waved me off. Yeah, I know. Got it. She walked out, back to the living room, flopped onto the couch. Her cheeks were still faintly pink. She took a few small, quick breaths, clearly not fully recovered from the near miss. Good thing Ethan is so dense, otherwise I'd have been completely exposed. She let out a long, quiet sigh. I also came out and flopped on my end of the couch. 2 people, same couch. On opposite ends, both on our phones. Then something hit me. I asked, Olivia, what time did you get here today exactly? The train from home takes at least 5 hours. You were here at my door at 10 this morning. Does that mean you left last night? Olivia clicked her tongue, irritated. Yeah, that's why I said I was tired. I barely slept the whole night. Rushed all the way here, and someone wouldn't even open the door. I glanced at the time on my phone. It was already past 4 in the afternoon. I looked at the screen a moment longer, then said, quieter than usual, you should go nap. I'll wake you when dinner's ready. Olivia looked at me suspicious. Why are you suddenly being nice to me? I gritted my teeth. Do you want to sleep or don't you? Last chance. Truth was, when I heard she'd left in the middle of the night, something shifted in my chest. Quietly, she came all this way, and I kept her standing outside. That wasn't right. And watching her cry earlier in the store, I felt like I owed her something. Olivia covered her mouth, smiling. Heh. Ethan, if you care, just say so. I looked away, irritated. Enough. Go sleep, or don't. Your call. Olivia stood up from the couch. Quietly, she nodded. Okay, waking me for dinner. She padded off to her room. Door clicked shut. I sat there alone on the couch, staring at my phone, not reading it. The apartment was quiet. It was strange. For weeks I'd had this place to myself, and it had been peaceful. But this kind of quiet felt somehow different. Less empty, like someone was just asleep nearby. I shook the thought away, got up to start making dinner. A few days of this new arrangement passed. We had our rhythms, morning routines, meal prep, arguments over the remote control, arguments over the thermostat, arguments about basically everything, but also moments where we'd both be laughing, without meaning to. That was the thing about Olivia. She made every moment louder, more alive, more something, including the mornings. The next day was my work shift at the bookstore. I woke early and got ready. Olivia was still in bed. I decided to make breakfast before I left. Simple, just eggs and toast. I left a covered plate for her on the table, with a sticky note that said, "Don't burn anything while I'm gone." I grabbed my bag and headed out, off to the bookstore. Sophie was already at the counter when I arrived. She waved and smiled. "Morning. Morning, Sophie." I waved back. We went through our usual opening duties, sorting shelves, updating inventory, helping customers find what they needed. The bookstore was quiet and warm. I liked working here. Quiet enough to think, busy enough to not overthink. Between customers, Sophie asked casually, "So is she really staying with you?" I nodded with a sigh. "Until school starts, then she's gone." Sophie smiled knowingly. "She seems like she really cares about you." I scoffed. "She cares about torturing me. There's a difference." Sophie just laughed and went back to shelving. The shift passed without drama. After a few hours, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Olivia. There were 3 words. The eggs were good, nothing else. I stared at the screen for a second, then typed back, "Good, don't touch the stove." 3 dots appeared, then 1 word, "rude." I smiled, just a little, and put my phone away. My shift ended in the late afternoon. I stopped by a nearby market on the way home. I grabbed a few things for dinner, and decided, without entirely meaning to also stop at a bubble tea shop. She'd want some. That was just a fact. I walked into the supermarket nearby, ready to grab a soda for myself. I decided to call ahead, see if she wanted anything. Her ringtone started playing. "Pighead calling, pighead calling, pighead calling, pighead calling." Who set that? Olivia was still half asleep in my room. She'd snuck back in there again. She jolted awake at the sound. She scrambled to grab her phone. "Who is it?" "What?" She picked it up, groggy and confused. "You still asleep?" "I'm done with my shift and on my way home." "You already got off work?" She jolted upright, fully awake now, suddenly panicking. "It's already 4 in the afternoon. Of course I'm done." I could tell by her voice she'd been asleep. She always got cranky when she woke up. You're already on the way home?" She sputtered, voice jumping. "Look at your phone. It's 4 p.m. "Of course I'm heading back," I answered patiently. Olivia checked the time. "How long until you're home?" "Like, how long? Why do you sound nervous?" "I'm not nervous. No reason, nothing." Her voice was oddly loud. I pulled the phone from my ear. "I'm not even there yet. Why are you yelling?" Sorry. How long until you get home?" Olivia's voice went soft, unusually sweet. Something felt off. "About 15 minutes, I'd guess. I'm in the supermarket now. Wanted to ask if you needed anything." "I want bubble tea." She lit up immediately. "Can you get me some?" "I'm at a supermarket, not a tea shop. I'd have to go out of my way. Wait in line too. That wastes my time." "I'm not going. Flat refusal." "Please. You're the best. Go, please. Please. Pretty please." "Fine. I'll go." "Is that what you want? Happy now? Calm down." I caved, completely, and I hated myself a little for it. "Don't beg me with that voice. It's weird." "What flavor do you want?" "Anything's fine." "Surprise me." Olivia cheered happily. She hung up almost immediately. Olivia stared at the disaster zone she'd made of my room. The bed, completely wrecked. Blanket twisted, pillow halfway off. She let out a long breath. Smart move, buying myself extra time. She walked over and opened the window curtains. Sunlight spilled across the floor. Warm golden patches on the carpet. She opened the window to let air in, to chase away any trace of her scent. Then she tackled the worst of it. The bed. An absolute disaster. Sheets wrinkled like a mountain range. The duvet bundled in the center, right where she'd been sleeping. And the pillow. She noticed something damp, a few wet patches. She couldn't tell if she drooled in her sleep or cried a little. Embarrassing either way. Oh no. I'm doomed. I'm finished. Olivia groaned and buried her face in her hands. Why can't I control myself? Why do I always end up in here? She crouched on the bed, holding her head. Agonizing. Pighead calling. Pighead calling. Pighead calling. Pighead calling. The phone rang again, mid-crisis. Her special ringtone for me. She carefully answered, voice tight. Ethan? You home already? I'm still in line at the tea shop. Do me a favor? Can you go change my sheets and pillowcase? I was meaning to do it this morning and forgot. She went dead silent on the other end. I kept talking. I'm literally buying you bubble tea right now. Just do this one thing for me? A burst of energy came back into Olivia's voice. This is divine. This is a miracle. She wanted to scream with joy. Ha ha ha, of course. But she played it cool. Since you're buying me tea, I suppose I could help, just this once. Yeah, thank you, Your Highness. The new sheets and pillowcase are in the closet. Open it and you'll see them right away. Humph. Since you're making me do this, I'll also change my own sheets today. Do them together in one wash. Wow. You're actually being generous today. Thanks. But wait, didn't you just change yours yesterday? You're washing them again so soon? Don't ask questions. Just let me wash them. I'm hanging up now. She ended the call before I could respond, crying softly to herself. What a miracle. Heaven is on my side. Heh. Olivia let out a huge breath of relief. She patted her own chest, heart still pounding but grateful. She wiped the sweat from her forehead. A bright smile spread across her face, like someone who just narrowly escaped and pulled it off without a scratch. She shook herself back to action, time to finish the cleanup. Fortunately, aside from the bed, nothing else had been disturbed, so she quickly straightened up everything else, then went straight to the guilty item, the sheets, the damning evidence. She tore them off the bed in one swift move, then walked to the closet. She reached in carefully and pulled out a fresh set. She began making the bed with new sheets. She was halfway through spreading them out. when she suddenly stopped, froze completely. A slow, private smile crept onto her face. Olivia laughed softly to herself and stopped making the bed for a moment. Just smiled. Right there in the middle of the room, for no reason that she'd admit to anyone, except maybe herself. The weeks of living together passed. Slowly but surely, a pattern emerged. We fell into something like a routine. Mornings, I cooked, she complained. Afternoons, I worked. She slept in my room. Evenings, we watched TV and argued about what to watch. But there were other moments too, small ones, easy to miss. Like when she'd bring me tea without asking and set it on my desk without a word, or when she'd laugh at something I said, even when I wasn't trying to be funny. Those were the moments that stuck, that stayed with me later, when it was quiet. One evening, 2 weeks in, she was sitting on the floor with her sketchbook, drawing something. I peeked over. It was our old neighborhood. Detailed. Every corner I recognized, including the big tree where we used to fight. I sat down beside her. You remember all that? Obviously. Some of us have a memory. I looked at the drawing a long moment. You've gotten really good. She looked up, surprised, then looked back down quickly. I know, but I could tell she was pleased. By the way, she bit her cheek to hide a smile, and I looked away before she noticed I'd noticed. School registration day arrived. We both had to report to campus. I thought this was the day. The day Olivia would go to the dorms. After registration, she came back to the apartment, suitcase and all. Moving back in, I stared. The deal was, you leave when school starts. The dorm system has issues. Something about assignments. I'm staying here a bit longer. Deal with it. I stared at her, exhausted. You planned this, didn't you? It's just logistics. Can't fight logistics. She shrugged, smug as anything. I can't believe this. You're unbelievable. You know that? I know. Aren't I great? She grinned without apology, dragged her suitcase back to her room, and I stood there in the hallway, wondering why I wasn't fighting harder. Maybe because part of me knew. The apartment felt different with her in it. Fuller, louder, more like somewhere worth coming home to. I didn't say any of that out loud, obviously. That would be insane. I just went back to the kitchen and made an extra plate for dinner. Days continued to pass. University classes started. Olivia and I shared most of the same schedule, same major, different sections. We'd cross paths on campus constantly. She'd show up out of nowhere, surprise me in the library, plop down across from me, steal half my lunch, and then be offended when I asked for it back. My friends at the bookstore noticed. Sophie mentioned it one afternoon. You look like you're in a better mood lately. I frowned. I'm the same as always. Sophie smiled and said nothing else. I thought about that later. Was I? Things kept building. One evening we had a big fight, about something stupid. It always started that way. She ate my leftover food. I got upset. I told her to stop treating this like her own home. Something flickered across her face, for just a second. Then she went quiet, and walked to her room, closed the door. No slamming, no yelling, just quiet. That was worse. I stood there in the kitchen, staring at the cold leftover food, feeling like an idiot. It was just food. Who cared? I knocked on her door 20 minutes later. What do you want? Her voice was flat. I made more food. Silence. There's extra. More silence. It's your favorite. The door opened. She looked at me with tired eyes. What is it? Garlic butter chicken wings. Her expression shifted. Just barely. Fine. She came out and sat at the table. I set the plate down and sat across from her. We ate without talking. But it wasn't cold silence. It was the kind of quiet that says, I'm not mad anymore. And somehow we both understood it, without needing to say it. After a while, she spoke. You make these better than any restaurant. I looked up. I know. She shot me a look. Don't get smug. I smiled. Just a bit. Just eat. She kept eating, and I watched her for a second. Something warm settled in my chest again. I'd been feeling it more and more lately. Every time she laughed without filtering it. Every time she left a note on my desk. Every time she stole my food and looked completely unapologetic about it. Something about her was permanently lodged in my chest, and I wasn't sure anymore if I wanted to evict it. After dinner, we went back to the couch. Olivia had her phone. I had mine. And after a while, she leaned sideways. Not dramatic. Not asking permission. She just rested her head on my shoulder, like it was nothing, like it was the most natural thing in the world. I stiffened, then didn't move. She was already scrolling through her phone, completely unbothered. I turned mine off, stared at the blank screen, and thought about absolutely nothing useful. My heart was louder than usual. This is fine. It means nothing. We're childhood friends. This is normal. Totally, completely, 100% normal. I thought this several times, convincing no one. The following weeks went by. Olivia had settled fully. Her snacks were in the kitchen. Her slippers were by the door. Her scent was in every corner of the apartment, and somehow I had stopped noticing, stopped fighting against it. My schedule adjusted. Our schedules adjusted. Who cooked? Who cleaned? Who did what? It had become something real, something I hadn't planned for, something I wasn't sure I could name. One morning, I came home from a very early shift. The apartment was dead quiet. I assumed Olivia was asleep. I set my bag down quietly, went to the kitchen for water. Then I noticed her room door was open. She wasn't in there. The couch was empty. I crossed to my room. Door opened just a crack. I pushed it gently, and there she was, asleep in my bed, curled up on my pillow, one hand tucked under her face, looking for once completely unguarded, not bossy, not loud, just Olivia. I leaned against the doorframe for a second. Something in my chest ached, quietly, unexpectedly. I walked to the couch instead, let her sleep. An hour later, she shuffled out, hair messy, eyes half open. You're home? Since when? A while ago. She stared at me. You didn't wake me up? You looked comfortable? Olivia blinked, processing that. Then she looked away. Whatever. Her cheeks were pink. I pretended not to notice. You want breakfast? She nodded, already heading to the kitchen. She followed, and stood in the kitchen doorway, watching me cook, not saying anything this time. Just watching. I could feel her eyes on my back. What? Nothing. She looked away. I turned back to the stove, smiled just a little, without turning around. That afternoon, she finally said it. Out of absolutely nowhere. We were sitting doing homework, quiet. She looked up from her notebook. Hey, what? What if I said I didn't want to leave? I put my pen down. What do you mean? The dorm thing got resolved. I could move in there now, but I don't want to. She said it looking at her notebook, not at me. I stared at her. The room felt very quiet. Why? Her jaw worked for a second. She pressed her lips together. Because this is better. It's better here. A long pause. Then, you're here. She finally looked up, eyes meeting mine, and it was the most honest thing she'd ever said to me. Without the smirk, without the teasing, just her. My chest did something complicated. I looked back at my textbook, stared at the same line for several seconds. Then I said, fine. I heard her inhale. Just one word. You can stay. But the house rules still apply. She laughed, soft and real. Yeah. House rules. She picked up her pen again, back to her notebook. But she was smiling now, the real kind, the kind she couldn't hide. I watched her for just a second, then looked back at my textbook. Something had shifted, without fanfare, without drama, the way things do, when they've been building for a long time, and finally settle into place. That evening, I went to the market, a supermarket in the mall nearby, grabbing a soda, reward myself. I thought, does Olivia want something? I pulled out my phone and called. Her ringtone for me played at home. Pighead, 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 pighead. Who set that? She jolted awake from my bed again, fumbled for her phone. Hello? What? Who is it? I'm done with work and heading home. You're already off? She shot upright, instantly awake, panicking. It's 4 in the afternoon. Of course I'm done. She checked the time. How long until you get home? Why are you nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous at all. No reason to be nervous. She yelled it too loud. I pulled the phone from my ear. You don't have to scream. Sorry. So how long? About 15 minutes. I'm in the supermarket. Need anything? Bubble tea. I want bubble tea. She lit up immediately. This is a supermarket, not a tea shop. I'd have to go line up somewhere else. Takes extra time. Not worth it. I'm not doing it. But you're the best. Please, E. Pretty, please. Come on. Please. Fine. I'll get it, okay? Stop using that voice with me. It's unbearable. What flavor do you want? Anything. Surprise me. She cheered and hung up instantly. Back at the apartment, Olivia stared at the absolute disaster. My bed, sheets everywhere. She breathed out hard. She opened the curtains first. Sunlight poured in through the window, warm and golden on the floor. She opened the window next. Let the breeze in. Chase away any traces of her presence. Then she tackled the bed. Sheets crinkled and bunched in a pile, the pillow damp in spots. Drool, tears. Either way, embarrassing. Oh no. I'm a disaster. She groaned and pulled the sheets free. I can't help it. She crouched on the bare mattress, head in her hands. Why do I keep doing this? Pighead calling. Her phone rang again. My ringtone. She answered carefully. Voice very controlled. Ethan? You home already? Still in line. Do me a favor. Go change my sheets and pillowcase. I meant to do it this morning. Totally forgot. She stared at the stripped bed. Said absolutely nothing. I kept talking. I'm buying you bubble tea right now. Just this one small thing. Olivia's spirit returned from the dead. Heaven exists. She almost screamed with pure relief. But she kept her cool. Humph. Since you're buying me tea, I suppose I could help you. Reluctantly. Yes, thank you, Your Highness. New sheets are in the closet. Easy to find. Fine. While I'm at it, I'll throw mine in the wash too. Together. Wow, so generous today. Thanks a lot. But wait, didn't you just change yours yesterday? You're washing them again already? Don't ask questions. Just let me wash them. Hanging up now. She hung up before I could say another word. Then burst into quiet, relieved laughter. Heaven really is on my side. She cackled softly. Patted her own chest twice. Relieved. She wiped a bit of sweat from her forehead and broke into a huge private smile, like someone who'd survived something dramatic and come out completely unscathed, and pulled it off beautifully. She gathered herself, got back to straightening the rest of the room, quickly put everything back in order. Then she went to the closet, pulled out a fresh set of sheets, started making the bed carefully. She was halfway done spreading the sheets when she suddenly stopped. Something passed across her face. Her hands went still, and she smiled, quietly, privately, warmly, the way people smile when they realize something they've maybe known for a long time, but are only just now letting themselves feel. She stood there in the middle of my room, holding clean sheets, and didn't move for a moment. Just smiled, and felt whatever it was she felt, without trying to hide it, not even from herself, not anymore. Outside I was still in line. Bubble tea in hand, 1 cup, her favorite flavor, brown sugar with extra pearls. I had memorized it, without meaning to, like 100 other little things about her. How she took her coffee, her cereal preference. The face she made when she was almost crying, but refusing to admit it. The sound of her laugh when she thought I wasn't listening. Genuine. Unguarded. Ridiculous. I stood there in the line, holding her bubble tea, and thought, I'm in trouble. Real trouble. I walked home with the tea. The apartment door swung open before I even knocked. She must have heard the elevator. Olivia stood in the doorway. Freshly changed sheets. Tidy room. Trying very hard to look casual, failing completely. You got it? I held up the cup. Brown sugar. Extra pearls. Her face absolutely lit up. She grabbed it from my hand, took one enormous sip, closed her eyes, and just smiled. Pure happiness. I stepped inside, setting down my bag. Did you change the sheets? Obviously. Done already. Good. I walked past her to my room to drop off my things. The bed was perfectly made, crisp, neat, careful, like someone had taken real time with it. I stood at the doorway. Something small shifted in my chest. I went back to the living room. She was already on the couch, sipping her tea, looking out the window. I sat down. She passed the cup toward me. Without looking up. Try it. I raised an eyebrow. It's your drink. So? You carried it all the way here. Least you can do is taste it. I looked at the cup for a second, then at her. She was still looking out the window. I took it. Had one sip. Handed it back. Not bad. She took it without comment and kept sipping from the same straw, completely casual about it, like she hadn't noticed, or like she had, and simply didn't care. I looked at the window too, the afternoon light coming through, warm and golden, sitting quietly, side by side. Neither of us saying anything, not needing to. Something between us had settled, something real, something that didn't need a name yet, but was already there, fully, quietly, already there. And neither of us looked away. Outside, the city hummed along. Inside, on one small couch, two people sat together. Two people who'd known each other their whole lives, finally figuring out what that actually meant. And maybe, for the first time, not wanting it to end.